Things seem to be going from bad to worse for Factory Triumph. Hey everybody, Walty Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So Triumph, Ricky, welcome to the swimming pool. Today we're going to examine the good, the bad, and maybe just a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the ruts. And this is funny because the industry, Triumph's a big sponsor, obviously. We see how many tough blocks they have on the track and banners and signage and everything. Triumph came in with a ton of hype, right? In the playoffs last year at the LA Coliseum. I was there and they ushered in that new bike with Ricky coming down to the Peristyles. And they even had Jeff Stanton come out on the bike. And unfortunately, Jeff Stanton, I don't blame him because he's like my age, I think. He was unable to hit any of the jumps, but hey, whatever. They put him on the bike. Now, the reality is this. They've done a pretty good job, in my opinion. The bike seems to be like a decent bike. It's been endorsed by Ricky Carmichael. I believe, one of the things with Ricky, and again, you got to give credit where credit's due, and I'm not here to cast the first stone for sure, because I'm far from perfect myself. Lord knows that. But, and I get it, like everybody's got their number. You can't say if you were in Ricky's position or if I was in Ricky's position that you potentially wouldn't sell out too and just try to fall in line and do what you need to do. Because his goal is to grow the sport. But some of it is a little bit see-through, right? It's just a little bit see-through in terms of, I don't know, there's not a whole, like Ricky's never had a ton of personality. He wasn't the Jeremy, he wasn't the Bubba. He wasn't even the Poto or Dunge, and even the Dunge didn't have a ton of personality, but you knew that even as straight-laced, he was straight-laced, and what you saw is what you get. And not to say you don't get that from Ricky, but Ricky was always like a chip on his shoulder type of guy. And we know from potential, where there's smoke, there's fire. A lot of people around Ricky seem to have lost their jobs. Jeff and Ralph were the voice of Supercross for a long time, and I believe they were perfect. Like, I really believe that we really should have kept Jeff and Ralph. The reason we didn't is because we put Ricky down as a track analysis or down at the track doing some track reports. And, his accolades, his accomplishments earned him, he fought apparently and found his way into the booth, which is where he wanted to be. He wanted to be the star. He wanted to be the man, and he clearly is. So he potentially has used that to position himself with Triumph. Now, I don't know if I'm sure he's a stockholder. I don't know if he's a majority, minority. I don't know if he's ownership or purely stock. I don't know what his involvement is. Maybe you guys do. Leave it in the comments below in terms of what Triumph's paying him or how he's getting paid. But clearly, he's a part of Triumph. So in the offseason, one of our biggest acquisitions was, of course, Austin Forkner. This was a big signing. I believe possibly bigger than Jordan Smith and Jalek Swoll, and even Styles Robinson's. I would say Styles is probably the low man on the totem pole. Jalek probably got about similar money maybe as Jordan Smith, maybe a little more because Jalek did have a decent season on that rookie season with the bike, or the debut with the bike. But Austin Forkner has, been a factory guy a long time in the class. He's probably going to be a career 250 guy. I don't see him moving up to the 450s. There's a good chance, if you're listening, bro, I'm sure you're planning your exit strategy. I think at this point, it might not be a bad idea to see if you can find, I'm sure you've got some investments. You've made a lot of money over your career. I'm sure you own probably some rental properties, maybe have some dividends, interest earning dividend accounts or stocks, bonds, whatever, something, some investments. And if you can get out of this thing, I would start, if you can, you probably got your big payday out of Triumph, but you're definitely, if we see more of what's going on now, you will not be getting any more contract offers, probably what you saw from Triumph, my guess. And then you're going to have to ask yourself, is the money now make sense for me to go out and risk it all? And clearly, Austin, understandably so, as much as he feels like he has unfinished business, when you've had like a really big injury and it's a head injury, he's clearly not willing to go full send anymore, and he's not put in a decent finish yet. And let's just cut to the chase on that one. He has not put in the type of finish that he hoped for, and I'm sure the team had hoped for, because when we got into the preseason talks, of course, Austin Faulkner was a championship threat and really triumphs. I don't know. This was a big roll of the dice. And Mitch probably didn't want to let him go because he felt obligated to keep the kid. But on the other hand, I think even Mitch probably saw that he just doesn't have what he once had. And so Triumph, unfortunately, like with Jordan Smith, it looked like that was their big break. That was the rider that was going to do it. And then he had the big get off. And then all of a sudden, poof, that evaporated. And so they still haven't been able to come out from under this cloud that seems to be hovering over Triumph. And so you can only survive so long. I mean, because if you're a sponsor, if I'm a sponsor, I'm going to Triumph. It's all results based. It's not like you have Grandpa Earl on your team and you can be like, well, yeah, but the guy's got tons of fanfare and he's got a huge digital footprint and his social media reach is huge and we're going to get you this many views. I could spin it. I'm a sales guy. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's not any of these guys. They just do not have that. And even if they did, at the end of the day, that's not what this is about. This is about racing and finishes. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when the 450 comes out. But at the moment, like, and a lot of you might be like, I'm kind of stoked. I'm kind of stoked because a lot of you guys aren't Ricky fans, right? And I'm trying to choose my words carefully because while I might not be a Ricky fan, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to hate on anybody, right? And after what I just went through, which was like, I was feeling great. And then like 2 years ago, I had this death cold and then it went away and then it came back. I was like, what's going on? This is insane. So, I want to really be careful. And I think you guys should as well. And I get it. I can be as cynical. That's the thing. Like, I like to be a rebel. If you ride a moto, you're a rebel. And I see, and because I've been a businessman for a long time and a salesman and part of big companies and a high producer, I hate seeing salespeople that come off as salespeople. And that's kind of what I see out of Ricky is he's almost like part racer, part salesman. And that's always, I think, been kind of his DNA. And a lot of these guys are trained by handlers how to be marketable. If you get on the podium, it's very important that you make sure you thank all your sponsors. You do it in this way and this and that. So that's why I always enjoy like AP, the Deegs, any of these guys that are just being themselves, right? Hey, find me if you want to. Find me. Don't give me my bonus. I don't care. I'm going to go out. But there's a lot of guys that are just complete robots, right? I just want to thank this and that, which I believe we're obligated to do. You got to mention your sponsors. But don't, it's hard when it's just purely scripted. That's the same thing that always comes out of your mouth. And final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. Shark infested. Triumph. Welcome to the swimming pool. Shark infested, brothers. You need some results and you need quick. Jordan Smith looked like he did some stuff for you. If it wasn't for him, I think it would be like a pure disaster. It almost is still a really big hurdle for you guys because Jordan Smith did look like for a second there he was going to keep you guys in the conversation. I think he still can get out there and put in some great finishes, but clearly no championships for Triumph this season. Austin Faulkner, brother. Love you, dude. I'm hoping and praying, dude, that you can make it through the season intact. It's clear that's your goal, and that should be your goal. I think you got a nice payday. I think it's time to be a brand ambassador or find somewhere in the sport you can work if you even want to. Otherwise, start thinking about investments, what you can do outside of the sport. Now, hopefully this weekend you come out and win and everything changes and we get to make new videos about how Austin Faulkner is back. But this is Gladiator Games, a blood sport, and nobody knows this better than you. And that's why Walty will be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way. Because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with the links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless. I'll see you on the next video.